Hello, Jimjamatic here. Welcome to a brand new episode of Robot Wars Episode Reviews. It is semi-final 2 and also the grand final, which we like to put them together. And this is the official last two heats of Series 3 before the terrible International League and the not-so-terrible World Championship. And I am joined back once again. It's been a while, but he's back. It is Anderson.
Anderson 9132. YouTuber.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your full name there, sorry.
Well, either way, I don't really care.
No, but I mean...
Full name? It's David Tony Hill. There you go. Right.
Now, just like Alex said in the last one, the first semi-final tends to be pretty good, and the second one tends to be it's not as good as the first one, in my opinion, but there are some good battles in this one. Two that stick out in my mind in particular, but we'll get to those, obviously, but...
There's only one series where I think that rule doesn't apply, and that's Series 6.
I'll agree with that one. I think Series 5's okay as well, apart from a few battles.
Yeah, I'd say Series 5 semi-final 1's better, though.
Yeah, 6 is definitely decent, though. But, yeah, especially in the earlier series, it tends to be a big trend. Like, even when hypno-disc is in both the second one in Series 3 and 4, it somehow ends up being worse, but...
Yes.
And it's definitely true for the semi-final semi-final 2 in Series 2, because my god, that was amazing. That was amazing. That, but yeah. So we'll be talking about the robots too long, because we've already gone over some of these robots before in decent length. So we'll briefly go over them. First, we have Blade.
Blade. It's in the name, you idiots. I guess that's what we could say, really, isn't it?
I mean, it's just like how me and Sam described it. Blade is Blade.
Yeah.
I mean, I always get a little bit of stick when people say, "Oh no, you say Trident's the worst semi-finalist." No, sorry, it's not much of a competition, really, is it? But I'm sorry, I think Blade is slightly better than Trident. Very, but it's the worst one now because Trident has been flipped over. So,
if you were to put Trident against Blade, Blade would win because it could push Trident around. It would.
It's got higher ground clearance as well than Blade, so it can easily get around it and stuff. Also, Blade is driven okay, whilst Trident has a really awkward shape, which makes it hard to drive. Whilst Blade is just a simple two-wheel sort of a wedge type with a little spinner on the front. That's all it is, really. Blade's not that interesting. I mean, it comes out of my least favorite heat from the series. So, I mean, considering I don't like that heat, I don't really hate Blade at all. I just think the whole heat was shit in general, and Blade sort of gets part of the blame for it, even though it's not his fault. But yeah, I don't know. Just Blade. Is there anything else to talk about Blade, really? Or...
I don't know, really. I mean, I personally don't think Blade or Trident are the worst semi-finalists of all time. I mean, if you would like compare it to the rest of the robots of the series that they were in, I mean, I personally think that Napalm in Series 2 was worse. And to be honest, I still say to this day, I think that Napalm would lose to both Trident and Blade, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's true.
So I'd say that, but I mean, yeah, there's not really much you can say about Blade, to be honest. Kudos to them; they did well. They made it this far, but. Yeah, we all know how that goes.
Unfortunately,
and if you don't watch it, then watch this afterwards.
It was just like Hardvark in Series 2. As soon as they got out of their own heat, they just floundered. Although they didn't do that badly in their battle, it was just they were just against a better robot, so it was kind of, and it was also built to beat them. So let's face it. Yeah. So that was really it. I mean, next up is of course Cassius 2.0, the ripoff, Gravedigger.
Gravedigger. Front-hinged flipper.
I mean, as I said before, Gravedigger's biggest crime is that it's so slow. It really is. I mean, thankfully, at least the Series 4 and 5 versions were decently fast. I mean, there were improvement in Series 4, but then things have to happen, and Chronic gets through.
It was a grave return.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad when Chronic the Hedgehog gets through the first round in Series 4. The Series 4 Chronic.
In all fairness, Series 4 Chronic wasn't bad. I mean, come on, it owned like two robots and nearly beat Thermidor. It only lost because it literally lost drive on one side. I mean, it was winning the match until that point.
I guess, I don't know. But, I mean,
yes.
I mean, in Series 4 they got lucky, and in Series 5 they went against Tornado in the first round. Brilliant. Just GG right there.
The Series 5 version, what the hell were they thinking?
I know, just keep the flipper. What was the axe for? It was weird.
No.
Like Josie didn't have to change anything from Series 4 to 5, just make the weapon more reliable.
Yeah,
And
and
they
use
would be
the extra
fine.
weight to put more CO2 on board.
Because
Easy.
I actually like the Series 4 version of Gravedigger more than. I mean, it actually feels like it's faster. It's got a more steep wedge. The flipper's actually a bit better at flipping. It seemed like better.
Paint job's not boring.
The paint job's not boring, and then of course the shenanigans happen. And in Series 3, it's not bad. I mean, it defeated Mortis, so it can't be. It's not terrible by any means.
Oh.
Its speed was the biggest problem, and unfortunately, when they improve on that, they lose. So, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
This is Series 3 standards, though. We can still be slow and win. So,
Yeah,
you know. It took about. I think it was around Series 4 was speed becoming a lot more of a big issue. I mean, looking at robots like Bulldog Breed 2 or Hammer and Tong or, Claude Hopper or something. I mean, these kind of really, all from the same heat, oddly enough. They're all really, really slow. I mean, I always forget how slow.
Look at the 4 Series 4 Grand Finalists. The slowest was Hypno-disc at 10 miles an hour.
Wow. I mean, hell, 10 miles an hour is considered slow in Series 10 and Series 9.
Yes.
So, I mean, the average is about 12 miles an hour nowadays. But,
yeah, that's about as low as it goes, and that before it becomes slow.
True.
These days, so.
But Gravedigger's okay. It's just Gravedigger again, really. It's just rip off Cassius with a worse paint job. Then next, of course, we have the prototype, the first Rambot of the series, Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus Rambot.
I mean,
not from Series 4, obviously, because that's a different robot altogether.
They still didn't get a fucking intro.
I know.
Right,
surely by this point you could have just dragged the camera over and said, right, talk about your robot. Why did they wait? I mean, what was... I mean, because obviously, I know for a fact that they didn't get an intro because, they were reserves.
Yeah.
But what was wrong with them, asking them to talk about the robot after a couple of battles while some of the other battles were going on?
I don't know. I mean, it's just really strange that they didn't do...
How long did it say, hi there, this is our robot Stegosaurus, it can push, and it's got a lifting tail. Cheers.
Yeah, the tail does nothing, but we can push a robot around really well. I mean, hell, this is one of the 2 grand finalists from this heat, so coming 4th overall in the series isn't terrible. Let's face it.
Well, technically, it was joint 3rd because both teams agreed to share 3rd place, which is very jovial of the Firestorm
It's
boys.
jovial, but I do think though
I'd say they came 4th, considering they weren't able to make it into the arena. That means they're technically a loser.
Yeah, because Firestorm were still working, they just got flipped out of the arena. But yeah, I mean, even though they're technically joint 3rd, I consider it more of a 4th place. But because I don't think you can share joint 3rd. Really, it feels weird. Share joint, it's like sharing joint 1st.
Yes,
you can't really do it. I just felt weird. But I mean, obviously they're one of the few robots in this heat who pretty much dominate every robot they're against. I mean, for the most part, every robot in this heat had at least some kind of issue with some robot. But did Stegosaurus even stutter the entire time? It was just it beat Napalm, it beat Aurochs Revenge, it beat Henry. Anything could beat Henry, except Harvok. But sorry, the wounds will not heal. But Stegosaurus is just it's just the first great pusher. What can you say? And come 4th place. Joint 3rd is it's quite commendable for a first-time robot. Yeah. And then of course we have the destructive power of hypno-disc.
Hypno-disc flywheel thingy.
Flywheel thingy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm drunk like the guy who does the voices, so you know what I mean. I thought I'd drink like that guy.
I was worried for a sec because your voice went a bit quiet, so I thought it was just you doing the voice. I was like, oh, don't issues don't start happening now. But Hypnodisc, I mean, self-explanatory. It destroys stuff, not Berserk 2, but it destroys most things. Actually, it doesn't destroy a single thing in the rest of this heat, really, in any way possible compared to its first two battles.
Takes a bit of fiberglass of Evil Weevil.
It does a gash in Stegosaurus and bends the wheels.
It does. In all fairness, it did kind of wreck Stegosaurus.
It did. Well, it did kind of disable it more than anything. It wasn't destroy it, more disabled it.
Yes.
I mean, as Hypno just seems to have a problem in the further it gets into the competition, the less damage it tends to do because the robots tend to be better. I mean,
I have noticed that. Series 4 is a perfect example. All the way up to Splinter, no problems wrecking anything. Then Wild Thing comes along, lol, nope.
No, but it's
I
still,
refuse to be destroyed.
yeah. I mean, they still beat them, but at the same time, it wasn't like an absolute
Don't get me
destruction.
wrong, they damaged Wild Thing, but I wouldn't say they destroyed it. And of course, Wild Thing is run on steroids, isn't it? You know what I mean? So
On what?
steroids, it's like steroids but droids because it's robotic.
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. But yeah, I mean, hypno-disc in the Series 3 version is definitely the worst one, only by the fact it's the first one. But it's not saying much. I mean, it's still a great robot. So
Oh yeah, fantastic robot.
then, of
Um,
course, obviously, then sorry, you guys say something? Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, it's a very good robot, and I probably, arguably, the one of the best robots to never win a series or a trophy. Full stop. Actually, it never won anything, did it? Really?
I'd argue that Firestorm is a candidate for that, for them as well. But
Well, Firestorm won a trophy.
I mean, oh yeah, I suppose I was thinking,
So.
oh yeah, of course. And then of course we have the robot from your first heat, Beast of Bodmin.
Beast of Bombing, blinking eyes of death.
That's basically what its weapons were. I mean, the sword didn't do anything. So, although in this semi-final, it actually used the lifter, which is it never used it once. Like, it just used its wedge most of the time.
I don't know how it was a tusk though, to be honest. But you know, there you go.
I don't know. I mean,
big tusk.
this is the same series that called Chaos 2 Flipper a flip up. So you know anything works at this stage.
Do you know that? Do you know their disc didn't work? Yeah, I saw that coming.
It's not a surprise, really, is it? I mean, they weren't. I mean, what was a disc going to do in Series 3?
Did that go over your head, or were you just ignoring it?
What? Sorry.
I said, do you know the disc not working? I saw that coming.
I didn't see that. No.
Oh God. I got you on a bad day, haven't I?
No. I got it. I wasn't laughing.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I thought you didn't get it.
No, I got it. Yeah. I thought the best way to respond to it was just not to acknowledge it.
I'm sure someone out there found it funny. If you found it funny, comment below.
Oh God, everyone's gonna start saying it's great now. But yeah, Beast of Bodmin, Roblox Persona. It's just like it's not as good as the original Roblox, I think, but it's still got a bit more to it. I mean, unfortunately, this is the first robot in their line. Obviously, it's their last one as well, but it's the only one in their entire line not to make it a grand final. Which actually not, which you got to admit isn't the worst thing to happen in your life. It's the only grand final we didn't make. Oh no.
Yeah. And even then, it was very, very close to making it again.
It was.
I mean, the second round of the semi-finals. I mean, it's in the top 8 finishers.
If it lost in the first round, that'd have been worse. But
that would have been dreadful. That would have been catastrophic. I mean, imagine losing in the second round by driving into the pit. I mean, imagine that. Oh, I'd hate that to happen. Oh.
No form of grand final has ever done that before.
No, none at all.
Oh, poor Rex. But yeah, that's Beast of Bodmin, and then of course we have the robot that will not die no matter what. 101.
101 Axbot.
101 is it's just like a mini tank, isn't it? It just won't die. It rarely breaks. It's broken down once, and that was on one side in the tag team tournament.
Yeah.
And also lost the track against Fluffy. And then
that wasn't really them breaking down though. That was them just being not allowed to just Fluffy not allowing them to work properly anymore.
That was called being that was called being disabled.
Yes.
But in fairness, what were they going to do against Fluffy? Let's face it. Just hope they break down.
Yeah, 101 is a highly reliable because I tell you what, for all my vast knowledge, I didn't actually consider the fact that it only technically broke down once.
Yeah, it did, and of course they've started many rivalries. Most notably, the most one is the 101 curse. Seems to be a thing. That seems to fuck over every robot it seems to face at some point, and of course, obviously the rivalry with King Buxton, and they had one of the best heat finals of the series, so they got here very deservingly, and. Yeah, I love 101. I love Mike Franklin. I love 101. I love Anarchy, or Scuttle, whatever you want to call them. Scuttle B Squared. They're great. Love all of them. Then of course we have the robot that proves that just because you're from a successful team does not mean you're going to make a successful robot. Evil Weevil.
Evil Weevil, forklifter.
I mean, it's just Evil Weevil. I mean,
yeah. It's fair play for their semi-final run. I'll admit I like Evil Weevil more than James does. But I will admit it's not great.
No, I mean,
I think, however, I do think they were very unlucky in Series 4.
I would
Because
call
I
it.
think if it wasn't for that, well, you're not unlucky, but you're very
Yeah,
stupid, but still unfortunate. I'll say unfortunate then,
yeah, that's
because
better.
because I think they could have won that heat if it wasn't for the fact that they put the wrong battery in it.
Yeah, it was just
But
quite a cock up of epic levels, wasn't it? Really,
yes, worthy of the Golden Cock Award.
it's got to be up there with the worst decisions of the series of any kind of like ways to lose a Robot Wars battle is not put the right battery in that's only half flat.
Well, at least they turned it on and like max damage. At least they turned their weaponry on, unlike Warhog in Series 5 against Napalm, in what should have been a bloody bloodbath ended up in the most boring push match between the that can't push. And Napalm won!
Oh,
Napalm!
bloody hell! But
We'll get to that.
yeah,
sadly.
we'll get to that. But yeah, and of course the final robot is the quote-unquote winner. They won on a technicality, but it's still a win. Scutter's Revenge.
Scutter's Revenge. F1 engine thing. I don't know. I'm out of shit now.
It's the last one, don't worry.
Yes, thank God for that.
But,
How well did I do? Did I match up to Alex, or was I dreadful?
Alex is the voice better.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
that northern bastard.
hey, we stick
That's
together.
what it is. That's what it is. It's biased because I'm from the Midlands and you're from the North.
Exactly. That is exactly what's going on here.
Yeah,
But Scottish Revenge, I mean, it's just in this series, it's just a really, really big pushing robot. But I mean, it's a good pushing robot. But
apparently that scoop was meant to lift. I never saw it lift once.
I think it only moves when like it hits into another robot and it moves slightly, but it doesn't. Maybe it just didn't work in time. I don't know.
Maybe.
But, or maybe it was just hinged. Maybe
you even lift.
Maybe it was just hinged. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't actually meant to lift. But either way, I mean, it was. I mean, it's a far cry from if it's later robots where it's just a massive wedge with a flipper on it.
I'll say this about it though: it has got a pretty cool color scheme.
I do. It's recognisable, isn't it? You don't get any robot that uses the black, red, and white colour scheme.
Yeah, and I'm very upset though that about two things. One, that Jonathan Pierce doesn't know what a scutter is.
Yeah.
Despite the fact it was painted on the side of the bloody robot. And two, I'm very upset that Craig Charles never made mention to it either. To be honest, but there you go.
You know, he did actually.
Did he?
Yeah, I can't remember if it was in his. I think he mentioned something about it in his heat, but I remember in this when it lost to 101, he said like something. He says something about a scutter that can't clean anything or something like that. Making reference to the fact that the scutters are pretty shit on the Red Dwarf, but I mean, I think he did acknowledge it in the heat at some point or somewhere. I swear he did mention it. 'Cause he definitely did it with the Inquisitor guys, but I think he did mention it with them as well. But
Yeah.
I can't remember fully. But it's one of the two Red Dwarf inspired named robots in the series.
With Inquisitor.
Yeah, Inquisitor, of course.
The thing is, Inquisitor was so ironic though, because nobody would have known that Craig Charles was going to be host of that series. I'm sure of it.
If not,
So why would they name it Inquisitor?
I don't know. They got lucky if that was the case, but
Yeah, I think it was because I mean, think about it. Because obviously Craig was the new host of that series, so I'm guessing nobody knew that he was going to be the new host. It's just a case where they turned out, oh, it was called Inquisitor. Oh, by the way, the new host is Craig Charles. Oh, God.
yeah. But actually, speaking of Scottish Avenger, in the first battle, we get to the battles, of course, and there's no side events, no pinball, none of that crap. It's just 6 battles, all right? And first of all, we have Scottish Revenge against 101, and once again, Scottish Revenge just conks out like he did against Pussycat.
I actually know why they died here.
Okay.
They lost their aerial.
Ah.
You can actually see it dragging along the floor in some moments, and then I think it's when Shunts. It's either when 101 pushes them towards Shunt or when you Shunt's hacking into them. You can see this like black line laying down on the floor behind the robot, and that's its aerial.
That's unfortunate. That's the way to go out, isn't it?
Yeah, because if you remember when 101 climbed over the top to he knocked its aerial down towards the back.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it just started dragging behind it, and then eventually, I think 101 knocked it, and it just fell off or something.
I think it was a point when 101 got on top of the scoop or something. It must have like hit the tracks or something. Because it did a similar thing to Panic Attack in the World Championship, where it knocked his little light off. Although less consequences in that case. But
yes.
I mean, it was unfortunate really because they were probably well designed to take out 101 because like the scoop. I mean, all the 101 could do was just go on top of them.
I would say that they were probably on top for the most part, and then they just started slowing down and slowing down.
Yeah. It was like watching it in slow motion, and then eventually it just died. Eventually, and the House Robots attacked it for the second time in the series. I mean, it can't be great having been attacked once. Like, tried, didn't it? Just getting attacked. I mean, I mean, actually, also, they're one of the few. I think, along with Trident, one of the few semi-finalists that broke down in their heat final and still won.
Yes.
So there you go. But
although in Trident's case, it was less because they still immobilized their opponent beforehand. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's true. At least they did actually immobilize their opponent. Yes, I mean, but I mean, there wasn't too much to the battle. I mean, there's a bit of pushing and shoving, a bit of on top with Scottish Revenge, and then again, once after the aerial scenario, it just went slower and slower until it just died.
Shunt hacking into Scottish Revenge is a beautiful sight.
It is a very beautiful sight, isn't
it? It is.
But yeah, because 101 is its tracks are its best weapon for some reason. So it's tracks take it out. 101 wins that. Next up is Gravedigger against Stegosaurus with one of the.
There's no controversy about this battle at all, is there?
No. There's no one arguing about this battle to this day. We need a life. We really do.
Well, me and Sam still differ on this decision today.
Although I think Gravedigger should have won, I'm not going, oh, this is terrible. You know, Stegosaurus should have lost that. Because we had a discussion about this about a month ago or something on Facebook.
Yes.
And I honestly see where you're coming from. I'm not saying going, Anderson's completely wrong. I don't see it. Because honestly, it is relatively close for the most part. It depends on how you look at it. Do you look at it more that Gravedigger, were the hits at Gravedigger more significant, or was the pushing that Stegosaurus was more significant? Because really, that's really what it comes down to.
The way I look at it is there's twofold. One, Stegosaurus. Okay, it may have looked like they were running away, but what they were trying to do was get around the back to get a good shot in. And Gravedigger was just sat on the spot spinning in circles. Now, to me, that's not damage. That's not aggressive. That's not aggression. Sitting on the spot and just spinning and just turning around, that's not aggression at all. That's just being a wimp. And secondly, if you look at Gravedigger's wedge at the front of the wedge, at the beginning of the battle, it's perfectly straight. At the end of the battle, it's bent, it's buckled, it's crumpled. There's even a puncture in it. And that basically put their wedge out of commission, so they couldn't get anything, which basically means that the weapon was made useless. And you also see their base plate starting to be peeled off as well towards the end of the fight. Now, as a judge, I would take a look at that and say, right, okay, fair play. Gravedigger got 2 flicks in on Stegosaurus, and Stegosaurus were lucky to be right above Matilda. I'll admit that. They were lucky.
Very.
But at the same, very lucky. But at the same time, the rules clearly state if you're immobilized for 30 seconds, you're out. Stegosaurus were on their side for barely a second. So that doesn't take much out of that's not anywhere near enough time for me to consider that to be long enough to warrant Gravedigger going through on a judge's decision. Meanwhile, Gravedigger was, I'd say, severely damaged. Its weapon was put out of commission, so it couldn't use its weapon anymore, and it was less aggressive. And like I said, I mean, damage points count for more anyway. And aggression and damage are the two highest at the time anyway, were the two highest scoring categories. So that's why I believe Stegosaurus deserved to win.
Actually, there was one moment in the match that kind of impressed me though, that Gravedigger actually outpushed Stegosaurus at one point.
Yes.
How?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think because it was front on. I think that was the reason why. Because I think Gravedigger's got a better forward drive, a bit like Blade does. Blade has better pushing power in reverse, but not good forward. I think it's the opposite for Gravedigger. Because when it got hit by Stegosaurus from behind, it wouldn't actually be able to push it as easily. So I think it just had better forward power. I don't know, because you don't see Gravedigger pushing many robots in its heat, so you don't really know it's about its pushing power. But I mean, actually, the thing is, if Gravedigger hadn't flipped Stegosaurus next to Matilda, it would have been out, which is kind of weird. Like, it was just in the wrong place, and Matilda came to attack it, and let it back over. But again, it's not enough to call it just immobilized, because it was like a 1 second thing. But okay. I mean, it would have looked like Blade otherwise, wouldn't they? Just kind of like stuck on the side. But it's just the way it goes sometimes. I mean, it's one of those. I mean, I'm not as annoyed as other battles, some other judge decisions in later series, but I mean, nothing goes against later on other judge decisions. I mean, or ref bot decisions like the Dominator 2 hypno-disc thing, which is just a shambles.
Yeah.
But I don't know. either way, does it really make a difference? I mean, it's like what? It's like 17 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, even if I managed to convince you that Gravedigger had won it, what difference would it make at this point?
Exactly.
I've kind of given up at this. I just don't care.
I have family members who are younger than this battle.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's
a horrifying aspect now I think about it. Anyway.
At the end of the day, Gravedigger lost. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. Who cares?
Right.
Yeah. And then, actually, a bit more decisive battle, at least, was Beast of Bodmin versus Blade, which, you gotta admit, Blade was sort of screwed against Beast of Bodmin.
It's a robot that can't self-right with a high ground clearance against a big wedge.
And a weapon that doesn't... and also its weapon doesn't work, either.
Yes. That too. I think, though, if its blade was working, it could have done some damage, because Beast of Bodmin didn't have the strongest of armor, did it, really?
No, it looked like it was made out of paper, Beast of Bodmin's armor.
It did. Yes.
And he still has the holes from Crusher.
Yes.
Which never fixed those once.
Well, you've got to keep the war wounds, haven't you?
Yeah, but I love the bit when Beast of Bodmin flips on the side, and it's just like the first time they actually used their weapon.
I think it's just like a little cheeky flick as well, because Blade were like sort of balanced up on the wedge, and they just lift they lift the tusk up, and it just gently flicks them over onto their side. It's just so cheeky, and then they're like, "Yeah, you're going over now, boink, over you go."
Yeah, and then
you get back.
And then just to finish off even more, they decided to flip it over entirely.
Yes.
And then
it's like, like they were going to get back anyway.
No, but I guess it was to finish the job.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think you're going to get that lawnmower blade back.
No.
No.
Seeing their metal swords that, they look beautiful.
Oh, the sparks were beautiful.
They were beautiful. This isn't that bad of a battle. It's not great. It's not bad. It's just, I'd say everything's just more forgettable, really. I mean, nothing major happened.
No, I mean, at least Blade put up some kind of fight. It didn't just get taken out easily or anything, but in fact, it was a losing battle.
Actually, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say it's probably the weakest fight of the semi-final, but then I remember the next battle.
Yes, of course, which is Hypno-disc versus Evil Weevil. Well,
the problem is, Evil Weevil had radio reception problems, and Hypno-disc wasn't working properly. So, this was just doomed to be crap from the start, wasn't it? Really.
I mean, I was kind of hoping. I mean, I was disappointed when I was younger that they didn't do more damage to it, because you don't. I mean, all that happens is like a side bit falls off. You see a few bits of panels coming up, but nothing really like noteworthy.
Yeah. Basically, they removed the back panel. The little flappy bit that comes up with the removable link, which is also the same bit that fell off of it in Series 4 when they got hit by the floor flipper.
Wow. They can't keep that bit They can't keep that bit on, can they?
Yeah. And the thing about Evil Weevil is because it's such an awkward shape, the house robots couldn't even get a good hold of it at the end, could they? So
no, I mean, in fairness though, what could Evil Weevil do to hit the disc? I mean, the flipper's not powerful enough. It's not going to get a good attack on him if the disc is going to hit it.
The only thing I could suggest is if the disc stopped, try and use the forks to lift them up by the disc. That's the only thing I would think that they could possibly do.
Maybe, but
the
battle wasn't that interesting. Let's face it.
Nah, it's the worst battle of the semi-final.
But at least the better robot got through, so that's something at least.
Yes.
If it was Evil Weevil at 1, I'd been more annoyed.
Yes.
And then we get to the second round, of course, because there's no special events, like I said before. So we start with Stegosaurus versus the Beast of Bodmin. And this is where Beast of Bodmin sort of just one of its eyes stopped working. It was dying. It didn't look like a well robot in this battle. I mean, Stegosaurus just kind of nudging it a lot, but then there was that bit where it got stuck and hitting against the arena wall and it just died.
Yes.
It's sort of a sad sight to see in a way.
It was, but it was one of those going out in battle things. I mean, it could have been worse. It could have just got absolutely owned, or it could have just not worked at all. I like this battle a lot because it starts off as a real good heave-ho. Both robots come into contact and give each other a real good push. Neither robot can get the best advantage. And then slowly but surely, Beast of Bodmin starts getting less and less powerful. Its eye breaks.
Yeah.
Stegosaurus starts getting more of the pushes in. And then eventually the robot's just like, yeah, I'm done. It just stops by the sidewall and just embraces defeat.
Yep.
Which is what I like. It's just like literally like a robot that just slowly but surely does end up going.
Yeah, it was inevitable, unfortunately. Because I mean, nothing was much was going to happen, was there? Really? It's just a powerful ramming robot against a robot that's all made out of cardboard.
Seeing seeing. It was a big. It was a big upset.
Although
Massive
honestly,
upset.
honestly though, I think nothing in terms of like former champions losing. Nothing,
Yeah.
in my opinion, beats Apollo getting
No.
completely destroyed and just by Aftershock and a Carbide twice. It
Yes.
was kind of painful to watch after the first match. I've got to lie. I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, it was entertaining. It was great. But at the same time, it was just kind of like I don't know. It's like watching Mike Tyson getting knocked out in one punch. It's
Yeah.
so like what do you do? Like do we cheer or do we go oh god?
Yeah.
Because I mean yeah, but it wasn't as bad. I mean actually Panic Attack did lose in quite a spectacular fashion against Firestorm, so there is that. But yeah, Stegosaurus just kind of knocked out one of the eyes, knocked out the whole robot, and then the house robots decided to take loads of pleasure in flipping onto the arena floor flipper.
Yes.
Which
Well, Shunt did some nice damage with his axe, and the big 360 flick on the
That
floor
was pretty
flipper was
nice.
nice.
It's quite surprising they managed to
just
flip a robot like Big Beast of Bodmin. It's massive.
Yeah, I just think JP's commentary was brilliant from the moment that Shunt first whacks his axe into Beast of Bodmin onwards, because it's just so frantic and powerful, and it's brilliant. It's just fantastic, honestly.
Do you know
JP, you're a lad.
Do you know what the weird thing is actually? Out of the two robots, because like there's a massive size difference between the two.
Yes.
There's not much difference in weight.
No, Beast of Bodmin was a very hollow robot, if I remember correctly.
If I recall, I'm just looking at the wiki now. Stegosaurus is only 900 grams lighter than Beast of Bodmin, which is it's just weird. It's more compact, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. It probably thought it's because it got bigger motors, hence the amount of push it has.
True. Although I was kind of hoping that they would do a massive shove against Beast of Bodmin like all the way across the arena, but I guess Beast of Bodmin's just got better traction, I guess. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it's like a napalm shot. You know, that was the best one though. That shot against napalm. When the bot armor just buckles.
Yes.
And then we have the second battle, which is possibly one of the closest battles ever in Robot Wars, because it took to the point where the judges had to go into the arena. 101 against Hypno-disc. This was really good.
I think the only battle closer than this one was probably Hypno-disc versus Splinter.
Oh, it's so close, that, wasn't it?
I know.
Oh,
no, it is up there with some of the closest battles ever, and it's such a good battle as well.
It's amazing.
I mean, both robots got a good shot in on each other. Both robots got more than one attack in. Both robots were limping through it. I mean, 101 Spike got stuck out and it was really slow. Hypno-disc could barely move and its disc was barely spinning up by the end of it. It was like two boxes on the 8th round.
Well, I've got to admit though, if I was Mike Franklin, I would have been so excited when I saw Hypno-disc not working as well, because it means like we could actually win this. And
well, the fact that he was able to last till the judges.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, any robot that manages to last the judges when you go Hypno-disc in the arena at this period in its career, it deserves a round of applause in itself. You know, whether win or lose, it deserves a round of applause.
Now, here's the big question though: do you think it was the right decision, or do you think 101 won it?
I do believe it was the right decision in the fact that 101's weapon was disabled.
Fair enough, I agree. I was just curious. I mean, although in fairness though, if someone said 101 had won it,
I wouldn't argue. I
wouldn't be that disappointed either way. If I was, the 6-year-old me would be like, no. But
yeah,
the 22-year-old, almost 23-year-old me would go, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So I wouldn't overly argue. I mean, I'd say my opinion, but I wouldn't make an argument.
No, it's not really an argument. It's not as controversial to me because like it's such an even battle.
It's one of those really close battles as well, where the robots literally finished neck and neck, like they're literally right next to each other.
Yeah, and also it's the only time the judges have ever gone to the robots to check them.
At this point, they also went out in Series 5, Razor versus Firestorm.
That's true. Yeah, did that as well.
Why I don't know, because you could clearly see Firestorm was more damaged, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Maybe just wanted to give.
I think they just did that for drama, to be honest. But still, you know.
Or maybe the judges have been sat down for too long and want to stretch their legs. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fucking hell, guys. We've got to go stretch our legs. Oh, there we go.
But
someone put the kettle on. Cheers, lad.
No, this is obviously the point where I start talking about the heat final. But of course, as it's a semi-final, we don't have those. So we are moving straight on to the grand final. Transition. Don't have them. And this is.
Hang on. Right, we're back.
Yeah, grand final time. And actually, before we get to the battles, I'm going to try and get the worst part of the grand final out of the way, the soccer final. Good God.
Yeah, why not?
Good God, I'm going to get this out of the way because it just, it'll ruin the pace otherwise.
Or
But
just upset because it made Evil Weevil look good.
no, I'm not upset that it's... Alright, it's not the fact that Evil Weevil won that upsets me again. It's just the fact that they didn't score a single goal and they only won because the other three robots broke down. Or just...
Actually,
Or got flipped over in the case of Nasher.
the general breakdown.
General was barely working by the end of that. Velociraptor died. Oh yeah, but it wasn't enough to be able to get the ball. It was on fire.
Velociraptor just died immediately.
Yeah,
It like twice.
I mean, in fairness, that is Velociraptor though. Its best performance was Series 4 because it actually lasted more than a minute.
That's actually a horrifying thought when you actually technically Series 7.
I still can't believe that is Ironside 3 later on.
I know.
It still baffles me. I'm the same with Groundhog to Firestorm in fairness, so you know. Or hell, even Sam Smith driving Tiberius to go to Carbide.
Yeah, or hell, Robot the Brewster Chaos 2.
Indeed, yeah, there's so many good transitions. And then obviously, for some reason, Nasher got taken out. I don't know why. What Nasher did to piss off Matilda so much, but...
It was Evil Weevil that flipped them over.
Yeah. I'm thinking of Groundhog from last series. I'm getting mixed up with the crappy football matches.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why that's allowed, but all right.
Yeah.
And then obviously, actually,
it's Robot Wars, man.
Oh, I see why I'm getting mixed up now because in both battles the football set on fire. Because the house robots were so bored of this heat, they decided to just get some entertainment in it. And of course, as I mentioned before, Evil Weevil won because they took out one robot and the other two, one was barely working, one broke down in the beginning of the battle. That's your champion, folks.
Yay!
At least technically, the Panic Attack team won an award in spirit.
Yes.
But actually, that must be quite sad, isn't it? Panic Attack doesn't win the series or win the World Championship or anything, but he wins the football championship.
Yeah.
Oh well, but I've got to get out of the way just because I thought it was crap and I wanted to do it. But now of course we're going to go to the four grand finalists, which of course are Hypno-disc, Stegosaurus, Chaos 2, and Firestorm. And we'll start with the first battle, which is a pretty spectacular battle for a particular reason, of course. It's Chaos 2 versus Firestorm. The first out of the arena ever.
Crap battle, great moment.
Well, it wasn't much in the battle. I mean, all that happened was a bit of driving around. They got flipped over, and then they flipped them out of the arena.
I'm going to say this now, right, because as a man who has been on the wiki for a long time, and been a fan of Robot Wars for a long time, and there's a lot of people's opinions on Robot Wars, this battle has made many people's top 10 lists.
I disagree with that.
Of best battles. Yeah, I massively disagree with this, because not being funny, what actually happened apart from the out of the arena flip?
As I said, all I said...
You know when Firestorm first got flipped over by Chaos 2?
Yeah.
That was the first time the robots touched each other in the entire bloody battle.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right, I mean, a lot of people seem to get mixed up with best battle of best moment.
Yes.
Because I mean, it's the same
with really big cheese.
Yeah, an Axor. Yeah.
Axor.
That's not
what happened.
They just touched each other a bit.
And a flip.
Yeah. Nothing happened. I mean,
it was a spectacular flip. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I wouldn't go out my way and say that's the best battle of all time just because of a part of it that happened.
It's true, but at the same time, though, to get the first out of the arena, in fairness, it was sort of inevitable at this point with Chaos 2 and the very small walls they had in the series. They almost did it with Crocodilatron at one point.
Yes.
But eventually, Firestorm was just the perfect shape and size to get over the arena. And also, can I just say, I'm going to call bullshit on George Francis saying you did that by mistake. You did not.
Oh, yeah.
You've been trying to
do it since the thing started. I mean, he tried getting really big cheese out of the arena. He tried getting Crocodilatron out of the arena.
Yeah,
he tried getting. I think he attempted to get. No, he didn't. I'm talking about.
No, he didn't do it with Sonic. No, but.
No, I was going to say Trident.
No, he just flipped on.
But I remember he gave it like a secondary little flick and then thought, "Fuck it, I'll leave it."
It's not worth it. But no, you've been trying since the ages to try and get a robot out of the arena, and you finally did, and you're the first person to do it. So congratulations.
I'd say it's pretty swift of him though, because not only did he actually put him out the arena, but he did that little drifty turn as he did it. Just to have a little more style to it.
Also, I love that Firestorm just kind of bounces over and just like falls on the rails. It's kind of like defeated.
Well, I want to say this now. Alex Mordu's face is worthy of being framed at that moment because it was brilliant. He's just like,
Yeah, I mean, in fairness though, he was kind of hoping. He thought, no, he's not going to do that. He's not going. Oh, he did. He actually did it. Oh my god. Oh, this is what I mean. Again, the battle itself is nothing, but the actual moment is amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's up there in the classic Robot Wars clips.
Well, let's put it
Really.
this way, right? This was obviously my first grand final. I hadn't really technically seen much of Chaos 2 because obviously I came in a bit later. I saw its semi-final battles and that was about it. I still wasn't overly impressed with it. This moment, holy hell, it shocked me. I'm not gonna. I mean, I remember my chin hit the floor when I first saw this. And my missus, I've recently got her watching Robot Wars with me, and I remember when we watched Series 3. And she took to Chaos 2 quite a lot because she actually, believe it or not, was quite a big fan of Robot the Bruce in Series 1.
All right.
So she always thought, oh, that's a successor. I've got to like it. Fair enough. Just so you know, she didn't know nothing about Robot Wars until this point. So of course she didn't know that it was two-time champion or anything like that. She never knew any of this, and she still doesn't because we're only just coming up to Series 5, so she didn't know whether or not it defends its title or not.
Hmm.
And when she first saw that, her chin hit the floor. I mean, this is a full-grown woman, 22 years old.
Yeah.
Chin on the floor, can't believe her eyes. Sort of thing. It's like.
It's an amazing moment, though. Yeah.
But what's really sweet is, well, Sarah said, "Does that mean it? Does that mean it won?"
Yes, it does.
Yes, darling. Yes, it won.
And
Like,
and
yes.
and the sad thing is, it goes from this awesome, amazing moment, we get to Series 7, which push every robot was flipped out of the arena at this point. It's so boring by Series. I mean, actually, I like it more in Series 8 and 9 when it doesn't happen as often, except when the eruption's in the arena. But but in Series 7, my god, it got boring, didn't it? Pretty quickly.
That's
Robots
why I
came-
don't like. That's why I don't like watching the live UK championships because I mean, watch either the two UK championships at Eruption 1, and I dare you to find a battle which lasted longer than 30 seconds.
I bet it's difficult.
I'm almost certain there were a couple. There were a couple where there was no flipper involved, and so it lasted, it lasted the full length or until one of them just died for no reason.
But you're talking about ones involving eruption.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, if you find a battle involving eruption that lasts more than 20 seconds, and I swear to God you will not find one. Right.
Yeah, I can understand. I
Simple
mean,
as that.
but
After a while.
but this moment was, it defined the robot. Let's face it, it defined Chaos 2. I mean, the robot is the robot that flips shit out of the arena.
I mean, it's difficult because again, I mean, like grand champions and all that. Yeah, okay, they're still memorable, but you think to yourself, what makes them great? I mean, what makes them more than just a champion? Roadblock. I mean, yeah, okay, it was the first champion, but it never did anything outside of that. Same can go really be said for Panic Attack.
But Chaos 2.
Chaos 2.
It was the first champion, I think, to really feel like a dominant force throughout the entire time it was there. Like Panic Attack and Roblox, Roblox's biggest advantage, it was just massive. It wasn't the fact it was a really good robot. It was just a big wedge that no one could really tackle. And
it wasn't a robot where you look at it and think that's going to never be beaten.
And Panic Attack was more of a survivor, more than anything.
Chaos 2 is a robot that you'd look at, and at this point especially, and say, this thing's going to be champion, and it's going to take a while to destroy it. It's a bit like Carbide in Series 9.
I agree, yes, exactly. I mean, Carbide is probably the first one to be dominant in a while.
Yes. Carbide, you look at that now and think, that thing's champion now, and it's going to hold that thing for a long time, unless, of course, some massive fluke happens in the next series.
Actually, until it lost, I think Tornado in Series 7 was very similar as well. How it just felt no one can beat Tornado until Storm 2 came along. No one could face Tornado at all. It just felt impossible to defeat it unless you.
I don't actually kind of say Razor as well because whilst lost a lot when Series 5 came along, in all fairness, it didn't break a sweat.
It didn't break a sweat, but I think at the same time though, its past was sort of the thing that kind of hindered it.
I suppose. I kind of will admit I was there, like thinking, when's the next breakdown?
Exactly.
When's the next breakdown?
Even they were expecting the next breakdown, so I was as well. But
Chaos, and as I said, Chaos 2 didn't break a sweat this series. The most it struggled was when it got flicked over by the big cheese.
Same in Series 4. Let's face it.
Yeah. Well, apart from against Stinger. I agree. Stinger was the only real, and of course then Pussycat gave it a good battle too. But up until that point, Chaos 2 had never really had a full, proper, difficult battle.
No. And it's just, again, it's one of the greatest moments of the entire series in the classic series. the first out of the arena before it becomes a bit boring. But I think not in. I think it's until around Series 5 I think it gets boring. Series 4 there was still only a few, but Series 5 also you had like an Indefatigable, Tornado, probably a few more missing, but I think that's probably the two I can think of primarily. But apart from that, and also the creature as well. But apart from that, there wasn't many other flip out the arenas. And in Series 5, pretty much every heat had to flip out the arena at some point. If
Series 5?
Yeah.
Hang on.
If it involved, we're not going to go into it now. I'll take forever.
No.
Basically, if it had a powerful flipper like Chaos 2, Bigger Brother, Really Big Cheese, or Spawn again, there was always a flip at some point out of the arena.
Yeah.
But and then we get to the second battle, which was sort of the case of a robot slowly being disabled as opposed to being destroyed. Was Hypno-disc versus Stegosaurus, and to Stegosaurus' credit, they put one hell of a fight to try and make sure they didn't get Hypno-disc, but unfortunately, they did kind of get screwed over eventually by their own armor, I think.
Yes.
That's what killed them.
I'm going to say this now. This battle is so underrated.
I love it. I do love this battle.
It's one of the best battles of Series 3. I mean, I will admit, towards the end it was a bit one-sided.
Yeah.
But Stegosaurus gave it their all. They smashed into Hypno-disc. They charged at them head on.
Hmm.
You know, they did everything they could. They shoved Hypno-disc into the sidewall. They tried everything in their power to break that disc. And whilst it didn't work, they gave it their all. And it's such a great battle. It really is.
I mean, Stegosaurus looks completely defeated by the end of this battle.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
It couldn't even go forwards by the end of it.
Yeah. You can see its chain hanging out, its side panels being peeled away.
Yeah.
But I will give them credit, their wheel was still spinning.
It was still spinning, but unfortunately the arm was kind of sticking into the wheels. It couldn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
Or something happened to it, but... I mean, actually, there's actually a shot of it on the wiki where you see it pushing Hypno-disc, and you see all its side armor is like really scratched and losing all its paint, and it looks dilapidated from when it first started. And it's kind of sad, but also kind of proud at the same time they've actually managed to last this long against Hypno-disc. Considering that Stegosaurus isn't a very durable robot. Let's face it, if it was against a proper spinner. But
I agree.
it's a good show, as I say, as a British guy would say, good show.
Good show.
A jolly good show. But unfortunately, Hypno-disc got some good hits with the disc, managed to wear them down, and ultimately the better robot beat him in the end. Plain simple. But Stegosaurus again coming fourth in the competition because there was no third place playoff because Stegosaurus couldn't really fight anymore. So they did a kind of joint third place thing, even though really, in reality, Firestorm really came third and they came fourth. If you really want to look at it.
Yes.
But it's a joint third, so we'll take their word for it. It's joint third.
Yeah.
A very good battle, and now we get to the grand final. It's a little bit better than last series' grand final.
Yeah, but it's just so disappointing.
Yeah, Chaos 2 versus Hypno-disc is relatively boring, oddly enough. Because Hypno-disc wasn't really working properly, and Chaos 2 stopped the disc and then flipped him over.
Yeah. Well, yeah, basically, I mean, Hypno-disc came out to the centre of the arena, flew back, then just never left the side wall after that, and then Chaos 2 just flicked it over.
Although I do love the shot. I do like that moment when Hypno-disc was stopped by Chaos 2 by just kind of chomping it.
Yes.
It's kind of funny. It's like, oh wow, just like
nom nom nom.
Actually, on the picture on the wiki, it actually does look like Chaos 2 is trying to eat it.
It does.
But I know what I'm using for thumbnail. It's for Hypno-disc getting flipped over. Obviously, it's the only image I can think of.
Yes.
But it's a sad moment, but at the same time, it was kind of expected because Hypno-disc had no self-writer. Its disc was not working very well by this point after the other battles it had to do. It just, I mean, the Series 3 Hypno-disc has a lot of mechanical issues in general. So, compared to the Series 4 and onwards, where it was a little bit more refined, here it was not going to last against Chaos 2. Even if the disc was working, I think Chaos 2 could have got an easy flip on them.
Sorry.
No, you can carry on.
I was just going to say, this is probably the third worst grand final battle after Series 2 and Series 5. God, Series 5 grand final.
It sucked.
It's annoying because the previous three battles were amazing.
And then, of course. And the Series 7 one is different for its own reasons.
In all fact, taking the controversy out of that was a good battle.
It was a good battle, though. Actually, the Series 9 one was pretty decent as well with Eruption.
Yes.
How
Series 8 final. Good God. That was good.
Yeah, they're both. They're both. I'll give the new series credit. Both the grand finals have been really good so far.
Yeah.
So that's good, including all the battles previously as well. But
Yeah.
in the end, only one robot could be crowned the champion. It is, of course, Chaos 2. And also, spoilers, they win the next series as well, because we also said, I say it's a spoiler, but at some point earlier, Anderson said it was a twice champion, so it's going to win something at some point.
Yes.
Yet never won a world championship, somehow.
No, it only entered it one and it lost in the first bloody round.
No, it entered it twice. It entered in the second.
Oh yeah, it did twice. Sorry, yeah.
And it drove into the pit after trying to flip over Mastiff.
Yes.
Which is hilarious because like Mastiff's right next to the pit and it just drives in.
I just realised this. Both times it entered the World Championship, it lost you to driving in the pit.
Although the first time was intentional because it didn't want to take any more damage.
Yeah.
The second time was a cock up by George Francis.
Yes.
It's weird, isn't it? How, despite the fact it's one of the best robots of all time in the classic series, it still couldn't get past the second round in any kind of world championship.
It's a shame.
It's a shame, but I don't know. At least that was Razor's job. That was the only thing Razor was good at. I mean, prior to Series 5, that's all it did.
Can I just say, by the way, when I said earlier that Chaos 2 didn't break a sweat this series, this battle kind of proves it. I mean, he just took out Hypno-disc and then was so bored and thought, I've still got so much energy and power in me. I'm going to own 2 House robots as well, because why not? Because just one isn't just good enough.
In fact, it took out the 2 of the easiest ones to flip over as well.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? I mean, it's one of those, and again, one of those things. I mean, because like I said, I mean, as a kid, I never saw it come. Because again, apart from Facet flipping over Matilda, I don't think there was a House robot attack from Heat Eye onward, was there?
Don't believe so.
Obviously, seeing Chaos 2 flip over both Matilda and Shunt, impressive for me. Chin at the floor, and again, Taylor saw it happen. Like I said, my missus recently. And again, her chin hit the floor when she saw that. Because of course, you know, she's never watched a war, so she hadn't seen like the latest series that became the norm, sort of thing. Taking out 2 House robots was impressive at this point.
Actually, in fact, it's impressive in Series 8 with Apollo. That was considering they're heavier now.
Yes. Oh, very. Yeah.
That was. I love that.
She hasn't seen them either, though. So.
No, well, she'll look forward to those. But and also look forward to Eruption in Series 9 because I know you love Eruption.
Yep.
I can't wait till we get to the episodes. You're on that episode, believe me.
Oh yeah, that's a fucking surprise.
Whoa! But so obviously excluding the 2 international type episodes, this is really the end of Series 3 in terms of the main series.
Yes.
So before we get to the awards, overall, what's your opinion of Series 3 after we've gone through all 16 heats and 2 semi-finals and the grand final?
It's a very annoying series because I like it, but there's also several parts I don't like about it. I think just because nostalgia's kicking in, I like it more than I should. I think there are some. I mean, the thing is about this series is it's brilliant for many reasons. There's some absolutely fantastic battles, great moments. You know, some real legendary teams and robots debuted in this series. But the other problem is, for every good battle, there was always a bad battle.
Yeah.
For every good heat, there was a bad heat, and it turns out to be a very uneven heat. Series.
Yeah.
But I'd say that the good outweighs the bad mostly, so I'd go overall 7 out of 10.
I probably agree. I probably agree because nostalgia is one of the things that always gets me with this kind of series. But I like Series 4 slightly more, but. It's one of those things where I think Series 3 and 4 are kind of similar to me in terms of how much I like them. But I don't know. I mean, it's just one I do love Series 3. Nostalgically, Series 2 is my favorite only because it's nostalgia and not because it's actually any good. It's a shit series.
Yes.
Series 3 is my second favorite nostalgia because I think I watched 2 to 4 really really well. Watched Series 1 and repeats, and then gave up around Series 5. Watched Series 6, didn't watch Series 7, and then went back to watch Series 6 and 5, 6, and 7 on YouTube and went, oh god. And then, you know, enjoyed the new series. So, but whatever. And of course, the main event, of course, after all this stuff, was the awards. Not the proper awards they give out to pad the grand final out. I mean, real awards that we do, of course.
Important awards.
And my tradition, of course, the person who helps me out with the semi-final 2 and grand final decides the awards. Last time it was Sam for Series 2, and now you've got the honour Anderson for Series 3. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have about 7 awards Okay? Just look at my little piece of paper there.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so the first award is Unluckiest Robot. Doesn't matter how they went out, it could be anything. It just means they didn't really fill any potential, or how they went out was quite unlucky, I guess more to say.
Unluckiest robot. Now, I would say maybe max damage, but I guess again, that's more just being a tit than anything really. So,
well, I'll give you the nominations I picked first and see which one you think is the best one.
Go on.
So nominations are Hardvark.
Yep, that's a fair play.
Millian Bug driving
Right.
into the pit.
Yes.
Wild Willy for again driving
Uh-huh.
into the pit. Smidsy for being
Fair
kind
play,
of
yep.
screwed over by it, and also Big Cheese because in any other heat it could have been against Chaos 2. No.
Right. Well, I don't know, that is an interesting thing. I might actually say other robots that I think you should have added if you didn't add them.
If you want to.
Well, I just mentioned obviously I won't poop them because they're not the nominations, but I'll just mention a couple of others that I think were pretty unlucky. Shumi 2, I think, was very unlucky in their battle against Steel Avenger. I think that's definitely unlucky. I would probably also go on to say, oh god, who else is there? Oh, bloody hell, what's it called? Fuck it, I forgot the name.
Professional folks.
All right, fair enough. I'll say Razor because, in all fairness, they should have won that heat.
Yeah.
But no, in all honesty, out of the ones that you picked, it's between Millian Bug and Hardbark for me. Those are the ones that really scream unlucky out to me.
Yeah.
Total. And I will go for Hardbark simply because Millian Bugs was more of a tit mistake than something that could have been prevented.
Also, it did help there were semi-finalists previously as well.
Yeah, that too. The way I think about it is, Millian Bug, yeah, it was unlucky to go into the pit, but it was still technically a mistake on their part.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this was nothing to do with the team. It was just a case of, oh, that's just gutting.
Okay.
And plus, it was a shit decision to let Henry go through after they dominated the battle anyway, but whatever.
Okay. Nominations for Worst Engineered.
Ooh.
There are actually only 3 categories because I think each one of these represent a different failing.
Right.
Ton to Run.
What? Because it was so badly built, it lost by, I guess.
It's one of those robots that managed to look great, but then did nothing. It died to losing to Trident by getting hit once. Ratus for running into dead metal and losing its entire body shell.
How's that engineering?
Well, it's engineering part of the making of the robot, isn't it?
Yeah.
And in their case, they just ran into a robot and the entire shell fell off, and then they drove onto the flame pit to burn everything.
Yes.
The whole robot, half the robot was falling out by the time all they did was tap dead metal. And Henry, for having a spike so great, it sticks into the floor every 2 seconds. So it can't drive.
Engineering-wise, anything that doesn't move is a pretty bad bit of feat of engineering, I'd say, like Hammertron and Vector. But those are 2 I would have mentioned. But if I'm going to say worst engineered robot of all time, of the whole series, worst engineered, from what you gave me there, I'd say Ton to Run, just because of the fact that it couldn't survive an axe shot from Trident.
Okay then. Next up
I'd say Henry. I'd say both Henry and Matas is more design aspects, but that's just me. But like I said, fair enough.
Okay then. Next to the nomination for most screwed over.
Ooh.
These are robots that. For the most part, there's a theme. There are a few exceptions, but there's a theme. Nominations are, of course, Behemoth.
For the floor spike.
Berserk 2.
For the floor spike.
Thing 2.
For the floor spike.
Scarab.
For the floor spikes.
And one that isn't. Oh yeah, this one's the only exception. Dietor, because customs. Fuck you.
I thought you were going to say Pitbull in that one.
I think no, because Pitbull... I call it karma, as opposed to being unlucky.
Fair enough.
Plus also, they should have known about it by their victory, so I don't consider it as unlucky.
Yeah. I'm not going to say Behemoth, because I think personally, whilst they were very unlucky, I think that by that point it was a really good battle, and I think Pitbull was slightly getting on top.
Mm-hmm.
So if the battle had ended there, I probably would have gone for Pitbull anyway, because I think Pitbull were on top at that point. I'm not going to say Scarab, because whilst I think it was a good robot and arguably the best robot in the heat, I just don't think it was. I just don't think it deserves it.
Okay.
I don't think it was as screwed over as some others.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say Berserk 2 because again that was really close nip and tuck. I'm not going to say Dietor because I think that although Customs fucked them around, to be honest, they were never going to beat Firestorm, and they did really well for a robot that got put together in like 10 hours or whatever it was.
So by process of elimination.
Yes, it is Thing 2, just simply because it was winning that battle. I mean, Panic Attack did absolute fuck all to it, and then it got flicked over by the floor spike.
Okay, then. Next, we have the worst weapon of the series. There are 5 nominations for this one. Because
Go ahead.
this one's hard to narrow down, believe me. The nominations were Flip Flop Fly's axe thing. It's just a stick.
The one that flicks over like so slowly that it wouldn't scratch paint. Yeah, that
yes.
one. Yeah.
Iron Mask with a little dink.
Yep.
Dink. Sergeant Meekle.
Yeah, oh god, Sergeant Meekle.
Bumblebot, because they went for length rather than actual damage. And it just got cut off in the end. And Backstabber, because why put your weapon at the front?
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't say Henry. I would have nominated and gone for Henry just simply because at least the other's weapon didn't stop them from moving forwards. But from what you've said, what were the nominations? We had Backstabber, we had Sergeant Meekle. Most of them are axes, if you noticed that.
Yeah.
So the Backstabber, Sergeant Meekle, Flip Flop Fly, Iron Mask, and who else was there?
Bumblebot.
I'm gonna exclude Bumblebot because whilst it was too long, I will say that its weapon did look pretty fierce on the 2 times it fired.
That's not an achievement, is it?
Oh god, this is actually quite tough because Flip Flop Fly right should not have been an Axel bot if its axe was going to swing that fucking slow. But I don't think it was as offensive as the other 3. Backstab I don't even think it fired. I think it just fell down, to be honest.
Yeah.
This is tough. Sergeant Meekle was literally jittered.
Josh, I just thought of another one I should have added onto the list, but I'll just add it on anyway. Robo Pig, little tongue flap thing, whatever that was supposed to be.
That was stupid. Iron Mask I'm going to exclude because whilst it was a crap axe, it actually at least had fluid motion.
So I'm guessing
I'll give it that. So it's between Sergeant Meekle and Backstabber,
wow.
And I'm going to say the worst weaponry was Sergeant Meekle, simply because not only was his axe literally jittering as it went down, but it had 2 weapons and both of them were awful.
And not only that, it's an insult to the actual guy they named it after.
Exactly. So yeah, Sergeant Meekle.
All right, now the nomination for worst battle of the series. There are 5. I have a max of 5. That's why I was kind of a little down there. Nominations are Caterpillar versus Napalm. Because, dear God, that battle was slow as fuck. Brimher versus Wheelie Wacko. Just what was going on in that battle the entire time. Another returning favourite, Sergeant Meekle versus Dark Destroyer.
Oh, God.
Just spinning around, doing nothing to each other.
Yep.
Smidsy versus Ratus.
Mm-hmm.
One robot that can barely move because of interference, and one robot that kills itself.
Yep.
And last but not least, actually I can't read my handwriting. Oh god, this is professional. What have I written there?
Type it up. Fucking hell.
I actually don't know what I've written. They do the Oscars, don't they? That's what they do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well...
Hang on, God. Surely you can read one of the robots on it.
I've written like initials, but I can't. I've wrote DC versus G, and I don't know what robot it's supposed to be. DC.
DC.
DC versus G. I can't remember now. This is annoying. Should we just forget that one?
Hang on, go on the wiki. I'm on the wiki.
I am on the wiki right now.
Look up and down on the Series 3 bit.
Okay, I'll just type. This is the shambles.
We are really not professional, are we?
Really now? Really? You never guessed.
I know, yeah.
The DC, can't find the DC. Where's it at? I need to talk amongst yourselves, folks.
Are you sure it's not an O and a C? Like, you might have accidentally, like...
No, it's definitely a DC.
Definitely a DC,
Yeah,
yeah?
it's definitely a DC. Looking through everything now. I can't remember.
Daisy Cutter versus Griffin.
That was it! That was it!
Daisy Cutter versus Griffin.
Fucking hell, that was it. Yeah, literally, I just got onto that heat then, when you said it as well. Okay, there we go. That's it. Okay, final nomination then.
This is a tough one again. I'm not going to say Rattus versus Sminty because I found that more than anything funny.
Okay.
Seeing Sminty occasionally fly across the arena and Rattus just not just hitting anything but Sminty was hilarious. Oh god, hang on. So what else do we have? We had Sergeant Meekle versus
Sergeant Meekle versus Darkstraw, Brimher versus Willy Wacko, Daisy Chopper versus Griffin, and Caterkiller versus Napalm.
I'm not going to say Willy Wacko versus Brimher, just simply because I think that battle is actually more forgettable than it is bad.
Okay.
I mean, it's not one where I think to myself, "Fuck me, that was awful." You know what I mean? It's one of those. Yeah. Oh god.
Got 3 left then.
Yeah, 3 left. I'd also like to just say that Dreadnought versus Psycho Killer should have been on there, but yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Because that was crap. Oh bloody hell. I'm gonna go for Matthew. I am. To be honest, it kind of goes without saying, but yeah, Caterkiller versus Napalm.
Oh, okay.
What were you gonna? Would you agree with that?
No, I would agree. I agree with that. I would personally just gone only for a slight margin. Daisy Cutter versus Griffin, just because it was just pathetic that entire. And also the fact that the other team went, "Nah, we won that. We want to take ownership of that crap battle."
Yeah.
At least Caterkiller lost normally.
Despite the fact that they did bugger all.
Okay, I'll save the piece the shit award for last because that's always my favourite. The best battle of the series.
Ooh.
I can actually read these as well this time.
Hey.
All right, we have the 5 nominations again. It was hard for me to get them because there were some I had to cut out, but there are some good ones. Chaos 2 versus the Big Cheese.
Yep,
Okay.
that's fair.
Exterminator versus Panic Attack. 101 versus King Buxton.
Ooh.
101 against Hypno-disc.
Mm.
and Thing 2 versus All Talk.
Fair choices there. Kind of surprised you didn't go Hypno-disc Rubbergeddon.
Well, I think again that's more entertaining. That is like a good. I'm going for like proper good battles, not just the funny ones.
Well, I'm going to say this. Now. I think that whoever decided to vote Big Cheese versus Chaos 2 the best battle of the series was an idiot because I don't think it was the best battle of the series. It was a good battle, but it wasn't anyway the best battle of the series. Of the 3 original nominations, I would have gone for Hypno-disc versus Exterminator. Watching them.
Hold on. You just said Hypno-disc versus Exterminator.
I meant Panic Attack. Panic Attack versus Exterminator. For God's sake, look, at least I can read my own fucking handwriting.
Touche.
In fact, what I think's funny is you said that's the worst battle that you would say, yet you forgot about it.
I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot.
Out of the ones you said, hang on. So that leaves All Talk versus 2, which is a fucking brilliant battle.
Mm-hmm.
Hypno-disc versus 101, great battle. Exterminator versus Panic Attack, great battle. What was the other one?
101 versus King Buxton.
101 versus King Buxton, of course.
Tough one,
this is really annoyingly difficult because they're all really good.
I mean, obviously, my personal one is Thing 2 versus All Talk, but only by a small margin.
Yes.
That's my personal favourite. Although these 4 are very tough to decide, I will admit.
They are very tough to decide. I mean, oh god, this is.
I knew this was the hardest category for you. I knew it would be.
I'm just going to say this. I personally, there's a couple that I think should have also that I would have mentioned myself.
Exactly. But I've only got 5 to pick from, so.
I know. I mean, I personally would have also thrown in a Believe It or Not 101 versus Centaur. I thought that was a real good close battle until the spike happened.
Yes.
That was a good battle in my opinion. Chaos 2 versus Mace 2, I think was a good one. Firestorm versus Pitbull was a good battle.
Yeah. But unfortunately, you're delaying the inevitable. What is your choice?
I am. I'm delaying it because I don't know. I'm going to go oh, fuck. This is really difficult. I'm going to go for King B3 and 101.
King B3. You mean
Whatever.
King...
I don't give a fuck. It's the same bloody robot without a clear top. Leave me alone.
Oh, don't say it to Simon Harrison. You'll go, oh, I spent time making that.
Lovely sigh. Well, sorry, right, but he turned around and said that he made it so it wouldn't catch fire again, and it caught fire again. So obviously, it wasn't that much of a difference.
Fair enough.
Love you, Simon.
I was gonna do the Rust in Pieces award, but it goes to stealth. So.
Oh yeah, it goes to stealth.
I mean, obviously, Robogeddon still technically functioned. Stealth didn't. That's the difference. Yeah. Also, it vaguely looked like Robogeddon.
Yes.
And now the Piece to Shit award. This was hard getting it down to 5, not because it was too hard to think of 5. It was too hard to get it down to 5 from like a massive number. There's so many I could have put in here, but in the end, they're all in for very different reasons. But they're all shit at the end of the day, and some of them have appeared before. Of course, the Iron Mask, your favourite robot. Tuntaron.
Yep.
Flip Flop Fly.
Bye.
Binky, for my personal reasons.
Yep.
And Abaddon, for just being awkwardly designed as all hell.
Again, what made you not put Henry on that list?
I did say it was very hard to narrow these down, but I thought I want some variety in the reasons why I don't like them. So.
Alright, fair enough then. Well, I personally, if it was in, would go for Henry, but obviously not. So I have to go for that lovely bread bin on wheels, the Iron Mask.
Red.
Bread bin.
I thought it said red bin. I was like,
yeah, no.
Bread bin. Yeah, it looks like a bread bin, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
I mean, there were so many options I could have picked. I could have Sergeant Meekle. I could have had honestly, Bulldog Breed. I could have had Rattus. I could have had Napalm. I could have had Caterkiller. I could have had Death Warmed Up, Brimher, Crippler, Psycho Killer, Dreadnought, Victor 2. I'm just listing. Like, half the robots could be in this category, honestly. Wow. Yeah, it's just a hard... I mean, again, Henry as well. I think the reason why Henry wasn't in a lot of these lists is because I kept forgetting about Henry. I put it in one list, but I just kind of forgot about it. I was doing the list separately, so I was like, oh yeah, Henry. I forgot. I find it more forgettable than I do actually find it really bad. But it's more a joke at this point. But regardless, those were the awards for Series 3. And of course, I have Anderson will also be joining me for the much-loved International League.
Fucking kill me.
I know. I mean, I've already recorded the World Championship with Alex, but obviously I'm going to record those in order, so it actually will go first, and then I'll upload that as well. But that'll be fun. It's basically give Razor an award episode.
Yep.
There is nothing else to it. I mean, the robots are pretty one-sided for the most part.
Yep.
I mean, you have Dilophosaurus Rex, which is okay but really slow.
Mm-hmm.
Deator, it's fair enough. It's good. Yep. Terra Australis, Nemesis.
Oh god.
Yeah, that'll be a fun thing to talk about. I'm still here, don't worry.
Terra Australis is rubbish.
It's rubbish. Prometheus. Terrible robot. Razor, whoa.
Yeah.
Technolease.
The fact that this guy later on made Slicer the first ever Dutch Robot Wars champion.
I don't know.
Is actually quite scary.
And then we have also two terrible battles of A-Kill and Tentamushi. That was boring. And Mortis against Terra Australis, which was just a one-sided lifting match, really.
Yes.
But
it's nice to win the Ashes for once. Anyway.
Yeah, this. I see why they didn't do it again. I mean, there are rumours about the new series. They might be doing an international special. I don't know anything about that. I've heard rumours. If that is true, please bring it back. I like seeing World Championships and all this good stuff. All these kind of international specials. Not the International League, though.
Do it better than this.
Thankfully, the World Champion... Actually, every World Championship is better than this, at least. For the most part.
Yeah, definitely. Although my personal favourite World Championship's the third one.
I like the second one the most, but that's just me. 'Cause I get to see
really?
I like Drillzilla and all that kind of cool stuff.
Fair play.
But also, I like seeing Panzer actually almost beating Tornado until Philippa got in the way.
To be honest, that's quite funny. How the two favourites are Tornado and Panzer, and then Philippa just comes along, so goes lol, nope, and just flips them over.
I love it.
From watching that battle, though, I still to this day do not know how Tornado won. It got owned, and then basically pushed a dead Yabarubu in the pit. Oh, yep, they win.
I think I think because they're more dominant against Philippa. I think.
But they barely touched each other.
I don't know.
And Philippa immobilised another robot, which is more than Tornado did.
I mean, actually, Philippa seems to have a habit of knocking out Fable robots. He knocks out Black Hole as well, which was a big shock as well.
One of the biggest upsets ever.
Next to Tornado losing to Dietor.
Yes.
But of course we'll get to those in the future episode. But we'll get to the International League next time. This was for the main series anyway. This was Series 3. After the International League and the World Championship, I'll be taking a break from the exams, going back around mid-June, and then we will start your favourite series, Series 4.
My favourite series is Series 4. Yes.
Yes. It's sort of on par with Series 3 for me in terms of my liking as before, but at the same time, it's gonna be a roller coaster because there are a lot of heats in this series I don't really care for. It's weird, actually. Like, Series 4 is one of those series, I look back on it and I go, I like Series 4. Then I kind of watch it again. I'm just like, oh. I'm disappointed by this series. Like, the good heats are good.
Yeah.
There are a few really great heats in the series, but then you get some heats like Heat C. You get, like, Stinger's heat. You get Mousetrap's heat. I'm going to say this now. The only episode in the entirety of Series 4, including the Christmas specials, that I didn't like is Heat C. I knew that one already. Because of certain things that happen.
I like every other episode in this series.
Because of certain things that will happen when we get to that.
Oh, God. Let me guess. Am I in Heat C?
Yes, you are.
For fuck's sake.
You and Sam are doing it, so I want to torture both of you.
Oh, thank you. Cheers, mush.
Actually, that'll be the first episode. It's just you and Sam guesting, so that'd be nice.
We've never actually guested together on this, have we?
Well, yeah, you did for the one with Simon Harrison, but it'll be just the first time you two.
Of course, yeah, sorry.
The first one was just you two. I mean, so
actually, you're gonna get a whole band on there.
Maybe entire. I'm gonna get every single person.
It's funny, yeah.
It's funny. Actually, I'll be getting a few extra guests. Obviously, I'll be having Brandon on a couple of episodes. He'll be on Heat N.
Nate's turning up a couple of times as well, isn't
he? Nate appearing for. I think trying to get. He's not. I don't think he's in Series 4.
He said he's in Series 4 Heat E.
Oh, Heat E. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was looking. It was different writing then. Yeah, he's also booked some Series 5 and Extreme things in advance, which he needs to. Obviously, Brandon will be joining me for the War of Independence, naturally, with you. He'll be joining me for the Southern Annihilator, because that's one definitely what he really wanted to do. And also, he's joining you, actually, also for Heat N. So, that'll be fun.
Oh.
That'll be fun, but, and also, Nate's joining us for Heat E with you as well. That's with you. You get all the guests.
I do.
I think
it's because I'm your best.
Yeah, I think actually the only person you don't partner with at any point is Alex.
Well, we have an understanding. I mean, he's a northerner.
Yeah, because Alex is partnering with Sam for semi-final 2, grand final. Yeah. But I'll let Alex decide the awards because he hasn't done it yet. So,
yeah.
But
one day there will be an episode where me and Alex guest together. One day, it might be a Series 5 episode, folks.
It might happen. Oh, look out for it. It'll be ecstatic.
Yes.
And actually, I've just realised. Because we are getting quite close to. It's about 3 months' time, something like that. About my year anniversary on YouTube. So I started around August, didn't I?
Oh yes, of course. Yes.
Getting closer to August, I just realised, wow, a year's passed already almost.
Bloody
like three quarters of a year. 3/4 of a year being on YouTube. Like proper, not just pushing little toy robots around. Actually doing proper YouTube this time, professionally. Like unable to read my own handwriting.
YouTube, mate.
Yeah.
I still do that, for fuck's sake.
Oh, no, exactly. You see, that's the reason why I'm catching up to you on subscribers, because you're doing old shit. I'm revolutionary. You see?
Really?
I mean, I've so many professional experiences over this Series 3, such as forgetting my own handwriting.
Yeah.
Having internet connections die on you randomly.
The fact that you only did this because Sam did it first.
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, I'm free to. Actually, in fairness, it was a combination of him and Mr. Saigo, to be honest with you.
How dare I do something that I find entertaining for my own personal time?
In fairness, though, I have to point out the Hardcore podcast. They copied Sam more than I did. Honestly, everyone is plagiarizing everyone. It's such a farce. This YouTube stuff.
At least with me, with my series, which hasn't started yet.
I'm not.
Yes, I'm doing a different style.
I'm not going to copy. I'm not going to copy you. Believe me. But I've had many professional things. Actually, the weirdest part in my term in Series 3 for me was the Simon Harrison episode was great. That was brilliant. Now the episode came out fine. Well, it came out brilliantly, but the one thing that annoyed me was when we were trying to set up, it took us like a bloody half an hour to get Simon connected to like Skype and get us all together. But when I Skyped Brandon, Nate, and Mr. Psycho 2, instant, and they're like 5 or 6 hours behind me.
Yes.
And in a different country across the Atlantic, and somehow they connected in one go easily. Then Simon is probably about less than 100 miles from me. I don't get life. I don't get life sometimes, but
No.
Anyway, we've just rambled at this point. Started, exposing YouTubers. bit of a news going on here. Breaking news. Hardcore podcast plagiarizers.
Did you guys know that Sam actually has a nose like a crow?
Oh yes, it's
Sam Elliott. So we do a Sam Elliott 64 exposed.
Also, Sam Elliott 64. Do you know the real Sam Elliott? He's a cosplayer of Nemesis.
Yeah. You know what else I hear?
What?
He actually doesn't like terahertz. He just make people happy.
Actually, if he cosplays a Nemesis, that technically make him a furry. Well, on that note.
God, I hope so.
On that note, then I don't know what note that was. In all honesty, that was just.
I don't know either. Sorry, I've got a really high pitched laugh when I laugh.
I know you do. You all the dogs in your neighbourhood were just going right now, but as I said, we'll slog for the international league. We'll try and make it as quick as possible because honestly, who gives a shit about it?
Yeah, who wants to give two flying fucks?
No one gave a shit about the grudge match special, and I didn't. So, no, that was the most painful video to edit. I had so many images to edit in. But
yes.
Anyway, yeah, that was the worst one. Actually, somehow the World Championship was less painful. But anyway, I'm Jimjamatic for the last time in the main competition for Series 3, signing out.
And I'm Anderson9132. Don't do drugs. Stay in school. Blah blah blah. Sex is a sin. You know the usual.
You heard it here first, folks.